Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Pate, and I will be discussing B4 Health, a DMP led primary prevention program for teen girls on breast health. Breast cancer is one of the leading causes of cancer and death in women in the United States. Breast cancer awareness and prevention efforts have saved countless lives. However, our younger generation of women are not being provided the resources needed to understand breast cancer, its risk, and its prevention. Studies show that women who develop healthy lifestyle habits early in life decrease their risk of breast cancer. It is vital that we give teenage girls the tools they need to better understand breast cancer and decrease their risk of acquiring it later in life. Here are the objectives of today's presentation. What is breast cancer? Cancer.net defines breast cancer as cancer begins when healthy cells in the breast change and grow out of control, forming a mass or a sheet of cells called a tumor. A tumor can be cancerous or benign. A cancerous tumor is malignant, meaning it can grow and spread to other parts of the body. A benign tumor means the tumor can grow but will not spread. About 1 in 8 U.S. women, or 12% of the population of U.S. women, will develop invasive breast cancer over the course of her lifetime. Skin cancer is the only type of cancer that is more common than breast cancer in women in both the United States and in Alabama. Here is a snapshot of the incidence rates of different forms of cancer Alabama women experienced from 2012 through 2016. There are many risk factors for breast cancer. Some are controllable and some are not. It is important that women improve their overall health in order to alleviate as many preventable risk factors as possible. A few uncontrollable risk factors are age. As you get older, your risk of breast cancer goes up. Genetics. About 5 to 10% of breast cancer cases are thought to be hereditary, meaning they result directly from gene changes or mutations passed on from a parent. Family history. If you have a close relative with a history of breast cancer, you are at a greater risk. Race and ethnicity. White women have an increased risk of developing breast cancer than black women, but that gap has begun to decrease in recent years. Some controllable risk factors are alcohol consumption. Having just one alcoholic drink per day increases the risk of breast cancer by 7 to 10%, and having 2 or 3 drinks per day can increase the risk by 20%. Being overweight or obese. The American Cancer Society recommends you stay at a healthy weight throughout your life and avoid excess weight gain by balancing your food intake with physical activity. Being physically inactive. The reason that physical activity decreases the risk isn't exactly clear, but could be related to overall body health, including decreased inflammation and weight management. Smoking. Smoking has been associated with an increased risk of breast cancer, especially in premenopausal women. It is important that women are educated on all the methods of breast cancer prevention. Living a healthy and active lifestyle, eating a balanced diet, and avoiding smoking and alcohol consumption are important factors. Women should also be encouraged to discuss their family history and any high-risk behaviors with their physician. Giving women the knowledge on the methods of early breast cancer detection, such as self-breast exams and yearly mammography, are also vital. There are 3 levels of prevention. Primary prevention refers to the process of altering susceptibility or reducing exposure to susceptible individuals and includes general health promotion and specific measures designed to prevent disease prior to a person getting the disease. Examples of methods of primary prevention are immunizations and preventing tobacco usage. Secondary prevention is the early detection and prompt treatment of a disease at the earliest possible state. Examples include mammography, pap smears, and HIV testing. Tertiary prevention strategies are implemented during the middle or late stages of clinical disease and refer to the measures taken to alleviate disability and restore effective functioning. Attempts are made to slow the progression or to cure the disease. An example is cardiac rehabilitation programs. For 30 years, we have been surrounded with constant messages of breast cancer awareness, which has saved many lives. However, no one considered what the overwhelming impact of these messages would be on teen girls. They seem to be responding in fear and have not been provided the resources and education needed to alleviate these fears. In a breastcancer.org survey of 2,500 girls ages 8 to 18, nearly 30% believe they might currently have breast cancer. In the same survey, more than 20% believed that breast cancer could be caused by infection or injury to the breast, stress, and other factors not associated at all with the risk of breast cancer. The survey also showed that very few girls had any knowledge at all of breast cancer risk factors and how to reduce them. The bottom line is our girls lack the information that can empower them to establish breast healthy behaviors to reduce the risk of ever getting breast cancer. The B4 Health Primary Prevention Program is a DMP-led project where the purpose is to educate teen girls on breast health and breast cancer prevention. This project will focus on teen girls ages 13 to 18 attending Etowah County and Gadsden City high schools. B4 Health is an acronym representing breast health education and links to teen health. Although the program will provide education on all facets of breast cancer, it will have 4 main focus areas, which is represented by the 4 subscript in the title. The 4 major areas of educational focus will be maintaining a healthy weight and eating a balanced diet, getting consistent physical activity, refraining from smoking, and avoiding or limiting alcohol consumption. It is important that teen girls get detailed education on breast cancer during this project in order to dispel any false information. The goal is to give them more knowledge so they will have less fear and be more likely to discuss their questions and concerns with their family and clinician. Having knowledge will also give them the power to make healthy lifestyle choices in order to decrease their chances of a future breast cancer diagnosis. They should be given information on early methods of breast cancer detection to fully understand how to recognize any abnormal changes and seek medical care early. The DMP will begin by recruiting team members necessary for the success of the project. The next step will be putting program information in brochures, flyers, presentations, and other shareable methods in order to engage stakeholders, obtain funding, and ensure school participation. Other documentation required for transparency and safety will need to be created prior to the project's start, including items such as letters to prospective participants and their parents, waivers, and health history documents. The B4 Health Project team will include a DMP, school nurses, dietitians, school administrators, nursing students, and coaches and PE teachers. Vital to the program's success will be financial backing. A few options are listed here, but many more opportunities exist in the community. The DMP will work to write grants and facilitate donor partnerships. Another needed area of support will be local businesses willing to donate items and gift cards to use as incentives during the program. To encourage participating teen girls to stay dedicated to the program, each week those who attend meetings and complete tasks will be entered into that week's raffle and have the chance to win a prize. Possible program expenses will most likely not be limited to the ones listed here. This project timeline will serve as a tool to keep the DMP and team on task. In the next step of the project, school administrators and school nurses will work together to recruit participants and share project information with them. They will disperse letters and waivers to interested teens so they can share with their parents to gain approval signatures. The DMP, school administrators, and school nurses will keep a detailed list of participants and their information on file. The pre-assessment will determine the teen's baseline knowledge about breast health, breast cancer, risk factors, and their family history. The DMP will create the assessment in collaboration with other team members, and the school nurses will distribute the assessment to participants. Each team will have a general physical conducted by the school nurses that assess their vital signs, weight, height, body mass index, past medical and family history, and overall health condition. A dietitian will assess the participants' nutritional knowledge and habits and evaluate their BMI. The DMP, in collaboration with the team, will create educational tools such as handouts and presentations, and nursing students from the Jacksonville State University DMP and BSN programs and the ASN students from Gadsden State Community College will work to provide general education to participants at the beginning of the project. They will reassess the general breast health and breast cancer knowledge during each meeting and provide additional education when needed. Also, each participant will be given a copy of the book, Taking Care of Your Girls. Healthy weight and nutrition will be a focus of education. The CDC reports that 20.6% of adolescents in the United States are considered obese, and the Alabama Department of Health states that 17% of Alabama adolescents are obese. To encourage healthy nutrition and weight, dietitians and school nurses will work together to educate participants on a balanced diet. Participants will journal daily nutritional intake in MyFitnessPal or some other preferred method. These journals will be shared with the school nurse and dietitian weekly, and the school nurse will conduct weekly weight assessment. This information will be documented and shared with the DMP. A second focus of education will be physical activity. Only about 1 in 4 high school students get the recommended hour a day of physical activity, according to statistics from the American Heart Association. In this project, participants will be given Fitbit devices and be encouraged to get at least 10,000 steps per day. At meetings, school coaches will be invited to discuss sports opportunities with girls and encourage them to join. PE teachers will also help by providing exciting and unique physical activities and suggestions to participants. Examples might include obstacle courses, dance, and yoga. Participants will keep daily activity logs that they will share weekly with school nurses. School nurses will share the information with the DMP. The last two focus areas of education will be on the risk of alcohol and tobacco use. The CDC states that 30% of adolescents report trying 2 or more tobacco products, and that 29% report drinking alcohol at least one time monthly. In this project, the DMP will work with a team to create educational resources and tobacco and alcohol use questionnaires. School nurses will give the questionnaires to participants, and nursing students will present tobacco and alcohol education at meetings. School nurses will share questionnaire results with the DMP. To evaluate the efficacy of the program, participants will be given a post-assessment health evaluation. BMI and other health information will be compared to the pre-assessment. The goal will be to have a 5% or more decrease in weight. A post-assessment of breast cancer health and cancer knowledge will also be given to compare to the pre-assessment. The goal will be to have a 40% average increase in test scores. Pre-assessment of physical activity will be compared to the activity level of the participants at the end of the program, and the goal will be to have a 25% increase in weekly physical activity. Participants will also be given a participant program evaluation to gain their input on their overall experience with the program and evaluate their post-program views on nutrition, physical activity, alcohol and tobacco usage, and their level of comfort in discussing breast health and breast cancer topics. The DMP will act as the project leader. We have discussed the specific roles of the DMP throughout the presentation, but here is a review of the tasks the DMP will ultimately be responsible for in the B4 Health program. To be an effective leader, a DMP needs to possess many leadership competencies. 2 competencies the DMP leader of the B4 Health program will need to use are project management and integrity. These 2 skills will be important in keeping the project running smoothly while also forming strong relationships with the project team and all stakeholders. 2 other leadership competencies needed by the DMP leader of B4 Health are influence and adaptability. Influence will allow the DMP to think like prospective donors, grantees, and school administrators to better communicate the importance of the project and appeal to them for support and participation. The DMP will need to also be adaptable in order to establish trust and a good working relationship with team members, participants, and all other stakeholders. There will be a greater level of commitment if the DMP actively listens to the ideas and feedback of everyone involved. In conclusion, educating our teen girls on breast health and breast cancer and its prevention should be a priority in every community. If we give them the knowledge and tools they need, they will know how to create healthy habits that decrease their chances of a future breast cancer diagnosis. B4 Health, a DMP-led primary prevention initiative, will work to educate young women ages 13 to 18 in order to achieve this goal.